I really welcome Gekar. He is the Vice Corporate Strategy and Marketing at Raj Industries Limited. Raj is India's leading industrial biotechnology company providing end-to-end technology solutions, including design, engineering, and manufacturing of plant and equipment of the biofuels industry globally. He holds a doctorate in management, and in addition to his bachelor's, he is also written a research thesis revolving around the renewable energy and international marketing strategies. He has a professional background which includes over 29 years of industry experience in in the international as well as the
First of all, Stanley College, thank you very much. Such a wonderful conference, great theme of panel discussions. I've been privy to some of the panel discussions held earlier, and I think it's a great learning experience for everybody, more so for students. So my hearty compliments for organizing the Experts Dome and about those big dreams. I think everybody has, and we have to work towards making them come true. Thanks again for the generous introductions. It's nice to be on the panel amongst the vibrant panelists that I see on the screen, which is also great. Now the topic is very interesting. Marketing yourself. Well, we have a hyper competitive environment today. Opportunities are plenty, but so is competition. So I think all that matters is you grab an opportunity when it arises, and that is possible when you are well prepared. So you should be prepared to talk for yourself without hyping it and without underplaying it, just being candid. So I think marketing yourself is a mantra, not just for someone who is starting his career, but someone who is at early, mid, or even at the senior stage of career, because you never know where the opportunities will come from, and you got to be prepared for yourself. So, the topic is so over, we can perhaps go on and on, but I'm saying that there are at least three things that come to my mind. First is the product, that in this case yourself. So you must know yourself, which is what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. So basically SWOT analysis, as we call in the marketing parlance. And then you must also know what is unique to you. So that's about the product, because unless you know about the product, there is no way you're going to be able to market it. But equally important to know who are you going to market it to, which means know your customers is the biggest mantra that all companies follow. We know it in different terms like customer centricity, customer delight, customer at the forefront of everything that you do, and so on and so forth. But developing a deeper understanding of who you are trying to market to, what their requirements are, what their needs of today and also are, is extremely important for marketing. And clearly, I mentioned about hyper competitive environment, which means that you are not alone in the field. You have to know your competition. What are they at? What are they doing? What are the areas you have edge over them? What are the areas they have edge over you? So that you are able to cast and carve a niche of your own. I think those are my opening comments. So you got to know the product very well. You got to in-depth understanding of the market that you're operating in. And obviously you must know who you're up against. So if you know these three, then probably you're on a journey to devise a plan and a roadmap to be able to market yourself.
Of course, a lot of times when we discuss about marketing yourself, we direct ourselves towards business, but it's also about marketing yourself, your own self. So what is the difference between the two?
So the concept here is marketing. It doesn't matter whether it is organization or an individual. And when we talk of marketing, you can't talk without Kotler and his concepts. So Kotler said 5 P's actually. He added the 5th P, and he said product, which is about the solution that either an organization or an individual brings to table. Because When you say product, the customers understand it as solution. So I think it's important to understand what we say in marketing dimension and what customer interprets it. So when you say product, it's a customer sees this as a solution. So fundamentally, it is organization or individual. It's a solution that we are talking. So that's first. Second P is about promotions. So when you talk about promotions, and there are a host of them, including the social media, the customer understand it as information or a knowledge sharing. So we got to be careful that we are a good product, which is our own uniqueness, whether it is organization in terms of hard deliverables, or whether it is individual in terms of soft skills, behavioral skills, or competencies. The third P is about price. Price is more and than anything else, customer interprets it as value. So value typically is defined as the benefits he gets minus the cost that he incurs for it, and risks that come associated with this transaction factored in. So I think whether it is individual or an organization, the concept of price or value is very important. Then the P comes, that is place. So actually, which is the customer understands it as access in today's era of digital transaction, e-wallet, or reverse auctions and e-auctions. The platform is becoming kind of a little bit subdued. So it doesn't matter where you are, especially individuals. There are many companies around the world who have said that they're agnostic to the location where they can find talent. I think ma'am here is Deshpande ma'am here represents HR, so she can corroborate. So that was the next P. And I think the P that Porter added is purpose. That is why. And I think that has come in different shades everywhere. And which is how the customer interprets it as objective. Why you are doing what you are doing. So I think it doesn't matter whether it is marketing an organization, hard deliverables, services, products, projects, or individual capabilities, expertise, knowledge. The concept of 5P remains the same. And then we can add, it is about people, it is about planet, it is also about profit. So we can go on. But it is important to understand that the principles remain same, no matter you are marketing individual or marketing an organization.
Should we discuss about maybe fundamentals of marketing in startups or businesses in general? Dr. Ravindra, if you can take that up, please.
Okay, thank you. That's a good question. Let's think of individual as a startup. Okay, fundamentally, all startups need to pitch to potential investors to secure seed funding, angel funding, and then subsequent funding from concept to piloting to first commercialization, and then scaling up and so on. The most important element that comes is what we call elevator pitch. Now this is a very important concept, elevator pitch. Elevator pitch is that 30 to 40-second time that is required for elevator to travel from ground floor to floor number 5, 7, whatever it is, in which you should be able to very clearly articulate very simply what is that unique value proposition that you bring to the table, how are you any different, and what way you can benefit the customer or the market. So the concept of elevator pitch is very important. I mean, you can Google and there are numerous examples of a great elevator pitch. But integral part of that elevator pitch is the word value proposition. And it's been spoken in bits and pieces in this panel already. But value proposition again is that unique value or unique set of benefits as perceived by customers that you bring to table, that differentiates you from others, and how it will help solve the customer's problem or the pain. So it is unique, it is distinct, it helps address the customer's pain areas or the problem areas. So if you can devise a very articulated elevator pitch based on value proposition, probably you've got a good hook going for the potential audience that you're talking. And for which I have a very simple formula. On the y-axis, you plot all the strengths that you have. On the y-axis, you plot all the strengths that you have. On the x-axis, you plot all the things that customer values or customer needs, customer demands, customers' needs of today and needs of tomorrow. So if you can have this Boston's 2x2 matrix, your strengths on y-axis, customer requirements on x-axis, then the place to click is the right top corner, which is maximum leveraging your strengths on the maximum requirement or the most requirement that customer has. And that we call as a sweet spot. You've got it, customer wants it, it's outside your competitors' purview. So that's the area you want to operate in. Again, coming to the left top box where you've got strengths, but customer is not aware that you have got these strengths. And that's where marketing. So you got to make him see what we call as a hidden diamonds or the iceberg that has only a few things on the top, but a massive portion beneath the surface. So you got to tell customers the skill sets, strengths that you bring to table, and importantly, how they create value for him. So you are ideally operating in these top two platforms. I think there was a discussion going on here, and there's a nice saying that everybody is diamond in making, from coal mine all the way dazzling into the ornaments that we wear. So the process of diamond making undergoes several things, right? Cutting, polishing, aging, transparency, fitting it in the right, and then stringing right. So I think the whole thing about putting a great elevator pitch to customers is contingent upon making a very strong value proposition. That value proposition is based on inside out knowledge of yourself and that of your customers, and accordingly you will be able to articulate. That will make sure that you have an audience with him, because we are living in what we call as a VUCA environment, right? Volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. So whatever opportunities come your way, you got to make most of it. So I started by saying that when preparation meets opportunity, you have a success. And that's why strong elevator is extremely critical. And all the more so in the parlor of startups, which is a metaphor for even for individuals as they progress through their career, that they are able to quote unquote sell their expertise, their skills, their value proposition to the right target audience. That would be my 2 cents.
Probably Dr. Ravindra, if you could go first with your closing remarks, please.
Okay. Before I go to the closing remarks, I've been patiently listening to all the very different views aired, and there are 2 points that I want to add. One is the point that you made: what if everybody starts becoming unique? There is a discussion around that. We have to be mindful that just as individuals become unique, the customers are also unique in their ways. So unless there is a meeting of minds, unless there is matching of ideas and expectations, the association won't happen or won't survive. So it doesn't matter, everybody becomes unique, then we raise the bar. There is no upper limit there. That's the point I wanted to score. Second, I think there was a question about what is underdoing and what is being overdone and so on. And I, for a while, thought that this is almost a discussion on social media than anything else. But I think in today's context, what happens is people tend to overdo their promotions. So it's like keeps coming on your face. 2, people blot up. I mean, they just blow up their achievements, their claims. And actually, when you interview, so I think, I heard the point very well that a lot of recruitment happens on social media, so on and so forth. But people are seldom candid and honest. They try to sell themselves. They try to sell the skills that they have without understanding what the customer wants. So that's the difference between sales and marketing that we talk about, right? In sales, you got to go and push what you have. And in marketing, you got to figure out what market wants and then devise those and then push. So I think there is a difference. So people try to sell themselves. So there is never too much of a marketing, but there is too much of a sell. I think that's the point I wanted to make. Nevertheless, it's been an interesting discussion. Toolkit is a word that's doing rounds these days, right? So when you are doing marketing, you've got to have your own toolkit. And that toolkit comprises not just of social media presence, which is constantly the top in this panel discussion, but it goes much beyond. It goes back to good credible references that you have. It goes back to the credible papers that you have published. It goes back to the grassroots hands-on projects that you have done. It goes back to show your social commitment in terms of, let's say, animal welfare, just to make a point, or conserving environment is just another point. So I think we got to have our own toolkit, and we are going to be able to, then only we are going to be able to market ourselves. And that toolkit, to the extent possible, need to be well-rounded, as it needs to reflect the person that you really are, and not really the person that you wish to be. What you wish to be stays with you, you keep working towards it. But if you bloat yourself, if you jack up your credentials, if you make tall claims which you can't really sustain, because recruiters, or even when the rubber hits the road in an organization, it doesn't take people long to find out what was stated and what is delivery. There is a gap. And that in every business, everywhere, everybody wants a plug and play raw material, right? No different with talent. So I think we got to be careful while making our claims. We got to be very modest when we try to market ourselves. We cannot overdo like a relentless campaign that is every morning open mailbox, or every morning see the LinkedIn post, or keep doing it. Then you are in love with yourself, being narcissist. So we don't want to do that. So I think these are some of the areas that one need to be careful about. So I think just to, in a closing comment, we got to know ourselves much better. There is a book about knowing yourself. I think that's very important. As a team player, are you good as a leader? Are you working independently? Are you good with numbers? Do you work well in daytime? Do you work well in odd hours? Do you work good in pressure situations? You got to figure out yourself first. That's the fundamental building block. And then you keep building to it, to who you are marketing. And then talking about marketing segmentation, targeting, positioning, these words don't come, then the marketing discussion doesn't become complete. So you got to segment the market that you want to operate into. You got to target the segment that you want to make an impact. And then based on that target segment, you got to create a strong positioning, messaging, which is true to the core, not overdone. I think that's fundamentally important. And finally, just be mindful that it's not just you. There is another Stanley College in a different part of the world, different part of the city, who is having similar discussions to prepare their audience. So there is a competition always around the corner lurking on you. So you got to keep upping the ante. You got to keep, let's say, innovating, or what some people call here unlearning and relearning. So I think to stay contemporary is very, very important. So these are my few last cents on the closing comments. Thank you.